Namaste bachcho, welcome back. I know your exams are just around the corner, so today we're going to quickly master a super important chapter, map projections. We're going to make it so simple you'll never forget it. So get your notebook ready and let's jump right in.
So, let's start with a really simple question. We all know the Earth is round, right? It's a sphere, kind of like a cricket ball or an orange. Now, just think for a second. How on earth would you take that round shape and make it like completely flat on a piece of paper, like a page in your textbook?
Yeah, exactly. It's impossible. You know, if you peel an orange and try to flatten that peel out, what happens? It just tears and stretches all over the place. You can never get it perfectly flat without messing it up. Well, my dear students, this is the exact same challenge mapmakers have. It's even got a name, the orange peel problem.
And when you try to force that 3D globe onto a 2D map, you get this. This word, bachcho, is super important. Write it down. Distortion. It just means that the shape, the size, or the distance between places gets all stretched out or squashed, and you just can't avoid it.
So, how do the smart mapmakers solve this big problem? They use something called a map projection. It's basically just a clever system, a set of rules for taking the Earth's grid, all those latitude and longitude lines, and drawing them onto a flat piece of paper. This is their answer to the orange peel problem.
So the big question is, how do they actually do it? Well, they use special shapes called developable surfaces. Now, don't let the big word scare you. All it means is shapes that you can lay flat without any tearing. Think of them as the 3 magic tools in a geographer's toolkit. Tool number 1 is a cylinder. It's simple. Imagine you take a big sheet of paper, roll it into a tube, and slide it over the globe so it's touching all around the equator. Then, you switch on a light inside the globe and trace the shadows of the continents onto the paper. When you unroll it, ta-da! You have a cylindrical projection. Easy, right? Tool number 2 is a cone. Like a birthday party hat. Just picture putting that hat on top of the globe. Again, you project the lines onto the cone. Then you can just snip it open and lay it flat. And just like that, you've got yourself a conical projection. And the last tool? It's the easiest of them all. It's just a flat plane, a regular sheet of paper. Imagine you just place it right on top of the North Pole, so it's only touching that one single point. That gives you what's called a zenithal, or planar, projection. Now, this is a really important point. No map projection is perfect. It's just not possible. Every single map has to make a choice about what it wants to show accurately. It's always a trade-off. It's kind of like having a superpower. You can be super strong or you can be super fast, but you just can't be both at the same time. So what are these superpowers a map can have? Well, there are 4 main ones. A map can preserve area, which means all the countries are the right size. The technical name for that is homolographic. Or it can preserve shape, so the outline of India looks correct. We call that orthomorphic. Some maps keep the distance correct, that's equidistant, and others preserve direction, which is azimuthal. A map might have one of these, but it can never ever have all 4. Make a note of these technical names. They love to ask these in exams.
All right, theory part is done. Now for the really important stuff, the projections that are definitely going to show up in your exam. So pay extra close attention now.
First up, the conical projection with one standard parallel. Remember our party hat? Well, the standard parallel is just the line of latitude where the hat is perfectly touching the globe. And here's the magic part. Along that one line, the map is 100% accurate, 0 distortion. So when would you use this? This is a classic exam question, bachcho, so listen carefully. It's perfect for countries in the mid-latitudes, like our India or the USA. And because it's so accurate from east to west along that standard parallel, it's brilliant for mapping things that also stretch east to west, like long railway lines, highways, or even rivers.
Okay, next up is the cylindrical equal area projection. This one comes from our paper tube model. Just look at the grid. See how all the parallels and meridians are perfectly straight lines and they all meet at right angles? It makes a nice, neat grid.
So what's its superpower? Area. The size of countries is shown correctly, which is awesome. But what's the trade-off? What's its weakness? Well, the shapes get really distorted, especially when to get close to the North and South poles. Because it's so good at showing the correct area, it's super useful for maps that show the distribution of things, like where all the rice or coffee is grown in the world.
And now, for the superstar, the celebrity of maps, the one I am sure you have seen 1,000 times online, in your school atlas,
everywhere. Let's talk about the Mercator's projection.
This is what it looks like. Can you spot the biggest feature? Look at how the horizontal latitude lines get wider and wider apart as you go up towards the poles. This causes some crazy stretching. It's why Greenland, up at the top, looks as gigantic as the entire continent of Africa. But guess what? In reality, Africa is, wait for it, 14 times bigger. Crazy, right?
So if it gets the size so wrong, why is it so famous? Because it has one heck of a superpower. Any straight line you draw on this map is a line of constant direction. It's called a rum line. For sailors and pilots back in the day, this was a game changer. They could just draw a straight line from, say, Mumbai to London, check the compass bearing, and just follow that one direction to get there. It is the ultimate map for navigation.
Okay, you've learned the concepts, but can you write the perfect answer in your exam? Let's try and solve a question together so you know exactly how to get those full marks.
All right, here's a very, very common 3-mark question for you. Why is a conical projection suitable for showing railway lines across a country in the mid-latitudes? Take a second and think about what we just discussed. What was the special thing about the conical projection?
Here is how you score full marks. It's a simple 3-step formula. First, you state the property. You say that conical projections are most accurate along the standard parallel, which is a line that runs east to west. Point number 2, you connect it to the use. You mention that things like railways in mid-latitude countries also stretch for long distances from east to west. And third, you conclude. You just link the first 2 points. Therefore, because the map is accurate east to west, and the railway is also east to west, this projection shows it with the least distortion. See? Simple, logical, full marks.
So, bachcho, if there is only one thing you remember from this whole chapter, please let it be this. There is no such thing as a best map. The best map projection always depends on what you need it for. It's all about choosing the right tool for the right job.
And that is a wrap on map projections. I really hope that made everything much, much clearer for you. So next time you see a world map, look closely. Try and spot the distortions. All the very best for your exams, bachcho. Study hard. You are all going to do great. And don't forget to share this with any friends who might need it. Drop any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.